Okay, so panel about the future of energy. Are you hopeful? Is it distributed? Is it wind, microgrid? What do you see in the next 5 years? What's the new biggest innovation in energy? Your crystal ball.
The biggest new thing that's really happening that's very exciting for me personally is the developments in offshore wind. There's a tremendous potential if you look at the world. A lot of the population is concentrated along the coasts. You have potential access to a tremendous amount of energy in relatively close proximity.
The cheap, low cost, and high powerful nature of lithium-ion batteries, I think is changing everything, and over the next 5 years it's going to change so many things. Kind of the flip side of that, I think no one has really tackled long duration, low cost, modular energy storage. So a lot of companies are trying to do that.
I remember that it was not that long ago when a solar cell still consumed more energy to be produced than it would produce in its lifetime. When you see things like that happen, what intrigues me is now what will the businesses be built around that were never possible before? Water filtration and desal is something that is incredibly dependent on energy. Well, if you've got the cost of solar and or wind pushed down far enough, then all of a sudden some of your desal solutions become much more viable.
The power system stuff is fascinating because of its complexity, fascinating because it's at what I consider a major tipping point in its life. I believe it's the most critical resource we probably have in terms of society as we know it, and I'm bothered by the single source. The motto of our efforts in power is, the grid is an attractive accessory, it shouldn't be a necessity.
Now, I lived in Tokyo for a long time. The fish market is always a very important part of town. There were two sort of super typhoons and one major earthquake, all within about a 1.5 to 2 year period. And power was pretty much wiped out for an extended period everywhere, except in the Bloom-powered Osaka fish market. You know, it's not enough to have the energy, you have to have resilient energy. You have to have reliable, resilient energy.
One thing that really stuck with me was this statistic that we came across, is that the largest cause of death is pollution. If you really want to have an impact, 40% of California pollution is transportation. 50% of that 40% is cars and trucks. You have very large lever there to reduce pollution.
If you look at, places like Norway, they're starting to adopt electric vehicles, like say electric buses. 100% of the city will have electric buses. So I think if we look to places like that to see, how much of an impact and how disruptive it is for the utilities, then I think we can find some lessons learned there.